All right, 2 hours, 12 minutes, 15 seconds into the X-Dome OnePlus's product drop. All right, it came. Very excited about this. Yes, my tent, my Durston X-Dome tent. Been waiting for this moment. Set up my alerts. I know they sell out. It may have sold out already. Let's unbox this baby. I couldn't be more thrilled. I was afraid I wasn't going to get it. I did use a one-man in Colorado this summer, but it was too tight. So I went with the X1 Plus, which gives me a little bit more room for my gear, for my cameras. I went with the carbon smaller ones, which I think is a little bit harder to assemble, but for packing it in your backpack, you can stick it in there. If I'm not going to be sticking it straight down, you can put it sideways and it'll fit in there. So I love that feature. And this thing is super light. And durable. By all accounts, one of the better tents. I believe it's lighter than what I was using. I'll talk about that in a sec. And yeah, that's not bad. That'll do. All right, let's get this bad boy set up. So, like I said, I got the short poles, which are supposed to be a little bit harder, but convenient, and they were pretty easy. I did make the mistake of setting up the inner first, which can actually attach to the outer after you set up the outer, but the way to go really is, so you see I set up the inner, and then I realized it. So I took it down, set it aside, and now set up the outer, which in bad conditions, this is what you want to do. You get that outer shell set up first, and then you're good to go. It was really good. And then next I added the inner, which you can actually leave attached, and you don't have to do both when you're actually camping, but you can see the inside clips in really easily. It didn't take me long. And like I said, I'm not an experienced camper. I'm not an experienced hiker. And I got this whole thing. And then take it apart. Again, really simple. Took it apart in probably 2 minutes. Had a little hard time with the poles, getting them all down. But, I think next time I'll be even better at it. And packed it up, stuck it in my bag, and good to go. Not that bad. First time, not an experienced hiker or tent guy. Took me less than 10 minutes between figuring things out. Set up the inner first, which you could do if you don't want the outer, but the way to really do it is do the outer, then do the inner, especially if it's bad conditions. That's kind of one of the advantage of this tent. So I got one of the most highest rated tents, the big copper, big Agnes, copper Spur, one-man tent, and I tried it out last summer in Colorado. And kudos to REI, they let you try these things out. And if you don't like them, you can return them. So, it was a $500 tent. I didn't like it. It was a one-man tent. There was no real room for anything. There was room for my bag and me, and that was about it. I am a wider guy, but, between, my camera, like in the morning, I couldn't find my phone. I couldn't find my flashlight. Everything was kind of smushed in there. So that's why I kind of pivoted to this X1 Plus. Still, it's actually lighter than the big Agnes. It's by all accounts very durable. As you can see, it's pretty easy to set up. That was my first time. I'm sure I'll get better at it. And it gives you a little bit more room, which I like. So, especially with all my camera gear and stuff. So, yeah, big Agnes. By the way, this Durston tent, I was on a waiting list to get it, and they just went on sale. I don't know if they're sold out yet, but if there's something you like, go check it out or get on their waiting list for their next their next release. They're releasing them all the time. And I went with the carbon short poles so they could fit it in my bag a little bit better. I got the lighter version, which is a little cheaper and maybe not as sturdy in really harsh conditions, but I'm hoping we'll get good conditions and that won't be an issue. But yeah, again, thanks for checking in, and that was my unboxing and assembly of the Durston X-Dome 1 Plus. See you on the trails.